Hey, everybody. Come on into the room. I'm so excited to be back. I haven't live streamed in so long. Been having a lot going on. But I'm super happy, like super happy to be back. I am live streaming across a couple of different platforms. So I am on Facebook, I am on YouTube, and I am on Instagram. So I'm gonna go ahead and go live on Instagram, and we're gonna get started. So tonight, well, I'm gonna wait for Instagram to join us. So tonight, we're gonna be talking about business funding, and so I'll be going live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hold on a second. Apply. I don't know why that's showing there. Okay. So I'm going to be going live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about, business funding, how to get grants, like business formation, like all of those things. So I want to give you all more information that's going to help you all to, get the funding that you need, get the grants that you need, get the loans that you need to start your business in a non-scam, start or grow your business, and to help you all achieve it in a non-scammy way, because there's a lot of people that are preying on small businesses, lack of information and lack of knowledge. And the less you know, the more people can take advantage of you, but also the less you know, um, you're not able to take opportunities for yourself. And so lack of information will keep you from getting what you need, especially if you don't have anybody on your team. I just want to make sure that my Facebook is up. I definitely see that Instagram is up, and we're going to get right on into this thing. I'm just going to jump over onto my Facebook. I'm going to pull that up just to make sure that stream is going. And we're gonna get started. I honestly don't want to wait. I don't want to waste y'all time. And so we're gonna get right into it. So if you're watching this live, say hello to me so I can say hello back. If you're watching this on the replay, hit pound replay crew so that I know that you're here. We are gonna have some Q&A at the end. I'm gonna pull up all those questions for everybody that registered, and I'm gonna answer those questions. There were some good questions about, I think one question was about a DUNS number. Another question was about, hey Juju over on Instagram, and Shaniqua, I see you all. So somebody asked about a DUNS number, how to get a virtual office, how to find a grant writer, and all of that. So I am definitely going to answer those questions. So if you see me looking in between the two screens, it's because on Instagram I'm on my phone, but for Facebook I'm on StreamYard on my computer. So I'm going in between the two. Uh-oh. So I have all my notes. I mean, get to my page. So what really made me want to have this live stream was, oh, hey J Flash 21 Black Beauty. Hey to everybody over on Instagram joining. As you all come in, just continue to say hello and please share this live or tag another entrepreneur that you might know. But what made me really want to talk about what I'm about to talk about tonight is because I came across a post. I guess it was kind of going viral on Facebook. And the person on the post was saying how, um, I guess they got a lot of revenue going through, their bank account. They tried to get a loan through their bank that they were banking with, and the bank denied them. And so they were really upset about it. I guess they pulled all of their money out and ended up going to another bank. Um, that her denial or that person's denial could have happened for many different reasons. I don't know her. I don't know her business. Don't know what her back end looks like. I don't know what her paperwork looks like. But I do know that yes, banks can be conservative, um, but having a relationship, having a relationship with the bank is not enough. Like you have to have some other things in place um, to kind of like qualify for those things. And then they look at some other things and they score your applications and all this, that, and the third. But I wanted people to know like there's other ways to get funding. Like there's other ways to get loans outside of a bank. And so whether that's a couple $100, a couple $1,000, on up to a couple $1,000,000. And so where you get your funding matters. But what really matters and what is going to make where you get your funding from is going to depend on exactly like what you need the funding for, where you are in your business, and like where you are kind of like in your personal endeavors and or personal credit. A lot of people are getting business owners to utilize their personal credit scores to obtain business funding. And so it's not really like true business funding if you're having to tie it to your personal, because now you're going to be like liable, for those funds in the event that your business cannot pay for it. But so yeah, so I saw that, and not necessarily information from her, but I just saw like a lot of just kind of misinformation. And so I want to talk to you all tonight about some things that you all need to know if you are serious about like getting grants, getting funding, or whatever it is. Because I talk to a lot of people and I make my posts on Facebook, and a lot of people often say, like, oh, yeah, like I'm going to get with you. I need money to open up a daycare, to open up this, that, or the third. And that's fine. You can get with me all you want, but before you come to me, before you go to a grant writer, really before you can go to anybody that helps you, there's a couple things that you need to have in place in order to be helped. So nobody knows your business or your business idea better than you. So people like me who are a strategist, other people who are coaches, like you have to come to us with something like already in your head, like already in your mind. You have to give us something to work with. And it's important that when you're working with a coach, working with a grant writer, that they capture the essence of your business, but that they're not the one creating like the strategic direction for your business. Okay. So I just kind of want to make that clear. But before we kind of get into some things that you need to be doing and some things that you need to know before you try to get grants, loans, fundings, or other things like that, is I need y'all to understand a couple of things. So the first thing I needed you to do is if you've ridden a plane before, if you rode a plane, drop a 1 in the comments. I want you to drop a 1 in the comments on Instagram, drop a 1 in the comments on Facebook if you have ever, got on the airplane anywhere. Like it just could have been to another state. It doesn't matter. I need let me turn this down. Hey Melissa, I see you over on Facebook. I'm sorry you didn't pop up in my StreamYard, so I didn't see you. So I need you to drop a 1 in the comments if you've ridden an airplane. Anybody that's on this live, have you ever rode on an airplane? And then I need you to drop a 2 if you've ever rode on an airplane internationally. So Shy says she has rode on an airplane. I know Shy, I know you've ridden on an airplane internationally because I think you took a 13-hour flight to where did you go? Like Thailand somewhere or something like that. I remember you taking like a 13-hour flight. So you've been on a 13-hour flight. You've gone internationally. Okay, so that like for people that's on Instagram, I'm talking to some people over on Facebook. Her name is Shy, and she does like a lot of great things. She's an amazing cook, and she has her own line of seasonings that honestly deserve to be in stores. And I hope that she gets there one day. So Shy's longest plane ride was probably about like 13 hours. So most of y'all seem like it was in Malaysia. So most of y'all have traveled internationally before. Okay. So let's say you're going to Bora Bora for a lifetime opportunity, vacation, you and your boo, you and your babe. You're all packed up, you got your hair cut, got your boho knotless, nails done, feet done, your babe's looking good, like you're overly like ready to go. The night before you go out to a club and you're having a good time, just kind of to celebrate your vacation, and you see some people over there like they're partying. Yeah, I remember that. They're partying, they're getting it in. I mean, they're throwing back shots on the sofa dancing, having a great time. You think nothing of it. You're like, wow, those guys are hammered. You go home, or you go to your hotel room. Next day, you wake up and you go to the airport. So you see these group of guys walking by, but this time they're in a pilot suit. They're in like their pilot uniform. So you realize that, okay, those guys last night that I saw out at the club until 3 a.m., those were the pilots. So they board the plane that they're driving or flying or whatever, and you realize that it's actually your plane. You're like, okay, I know these guys were turned up last night. These guys are going to be taking me on my longest flight in my life. I'm not sure. I'm going to keep pushing. So as you are getting ready to board the plane, you look out the window and you see that they're patching up like the wing on the airplane. You ask the attendant, hey, like what's going on with the wing? And the attendant just says, oh, there was a little smoke coming from it. They pulled apart a panel, looked into it, they said everything was fine. We're good, right? And so now you probably are a little bit leery, right? So let me ask you all, knowing that you saw a pilot, right, out drinking and doing everything else, and now they're up about to take you on the longest flight of your life, right? You see that. Then you see that this plane might have some issues. Like, are you going to feel comfortable getting on that plane? Like, would you still get on that plane knowing that the pilot and co-pilot is probably still hammered, and there might be something wrong with the wing? Like, would you risk that? Let me know in the comments, like yes or no. Would you still get on that plane? I need to know, like, if y'all still gonna get on this plane with these people that might be half drunk and something is wrong with the wing. So if you're like anything like me, you probably wouldn't get on that plane. You wouldn't risk your livelihood. Sha says you're gonna get off. So Sha, you're not gonna like chance it. Like why wouldn't you chance it? Right? Because these are people that's gonna be pretty much, they're gonna have your life in their hands, right? So what I need you all to understand, right? Sha said she's gonna get off. I would imagine that most of you all would get off. I know for sure, like me, I would definitely get off. But I told you all that story, kind of making this analogy for this reason. And it's because I need you to understand that, number one, in business, you're going to be both the pilot and the one responsible for building the plane that people gets on to get to their destination. So essentially, you're going to build the business that people are going to attach themselves to, whether it's investors, your future employees, and they're counting on you to get them to the destination. Now, I want you to think about the funders as your writers. So the people that's going to give you money, the people that can put you in stores. Sha says, because my life is in their hands, right? So the people that can give you the grants, the people that can give you the loans and stuff like that. Like, think of them as the writers. So essentially, If your plane is raggedy, if your plane is subpar, if your plane look like it has issues, if you as the pilot look like you're careless, if you look like you're incompetent, funders are not going to want to get on your plane. Funders are not going to want to give you the money. Why? Because like those pilots would have your life in their hands, you pretty much have their funds in your hands. Like I know it's a big stretch, but just like you don't want to lose your life, like they don't want to lose their funds. These people look for opportunities where there is a likelihood for them to get a return on their investment. So you have some of these lenders that are a little bit more open to risk, and then you have some of these lenders and these grantors, like they're not going to risk it at all. And so, like yourself, if you think about that scenario, you're gonna want to be on a plane that's already that is good to go and that's organized. You're gonna want to be with a pilot that's competent, that's a critical thinker, that's alert, that's aware, right? That's a team player. They're gonna be working with the co-pilot, right? And so it's the exact same thing. Like you, as the person that is driving this plane, AKA your business, like you have to also be competent. You have to be organized. Like you have to be serious. You have to be an intentional thinker because believe it or not, these funders, lenders, bankers, people that can give you grants and all this other money, they look at you as a business owner and as a leader in your business just as close as they look at the business yourself. So I've had an opportunity to sit into like a lot of like pitch meetings, and I've even pitched Grant Scanner quite a few times. And one of the things that they honestly look at is who is on the team, like who is building and driving it, flying this plane, who's in charge of it. They're going to want to know that you don't have to know everything, but you have to have people on your team, or you have to be knowledgeable enough to convince them that you know what you're doing if you want them to hand over, some money. And so how do, they know that, you're organized, like you kind of know what you're doing, you got it together, like you got a game plan. And that is essentially by how you articulate the business that you're starting or the business that you have. If you cannot articulate your business, if you cannot tell them who your target audience is, if you cannot tell them all of the important things that they're going to need to know to determine if your business is a good business model, if it's in a good industry, or if it's a risk worth taking, then they're not going to take it. Just like you're not going to get on that plane if you think that the pilots are incompetent and still have drunk, and that the wing might fall off because it was probably on smoke the day before, like it was on fire the day before. Like you're not going to get on that plane. They're not going to get on yours, okay? And so when it comes to businesses they fund, they are looking for ideas that can, you know, that are built or being built, that are taken off. If you think about, so let me back up. So if we go back to that plane scenario, they are looking for you to be able to build the plane, aka put the ideas together into a viable plan. That's first thing. The second thing that they're looking for you to be able to do is to be able to take off. So that's to go from an idea to an actual launch that has a goal attached to it, or has some goals or key metrics attached to it. The third thing that they're looking for you all to be able to do is to land the plane. And when I say land the plane, that means hit the goals that you are setting for your business. And then the last thing that they're looking at and they're thinking about as they are giving these grants, as they're making these investments and things like that, is what is the end goal? Like, is this person going to be able to retire the plane, aka exit? Because that's where they make their money. They make it through either like a merger or acquisition, or something along those lines, or an IPO, so initial public offering. Like, they're looking at the full spectrum of your business, not just, is this just a good idea? Because in reality, a lot of these people may not be familiar with the industry or the type of business that you have to be able to say, oh, yeah, this is a good idea or not. Like, if you're going with a lender that has knowledge, I guess you could say, about that industry or about that type of product, then yes, they would look at it from that perspective. But if you're looking, or trying to work with a lender that just, has money, they're going to be looking for the feasibility and looking to see if your business is even fundable. Now, as a consultant, I've probably talked to many of you. One of the things that I would say, that a mistake that a lot of businesses make is, remember, now I said they're looking for people to build the plane. Hey, Sade, Tanya, and Rochelle over on Facebook. So they're looking for people to build the plane, take it off, land the plane, get to your goals and destination, and then exit. Most businesses go from having an idea, they don't even build the plane all the way. They just have an idea all the way to try to hit the goals. No strategy, no plan, no clarity around anything. And so when they do that, it makes it a lot harder for a couple different reasons. And I'm going to tell you those in just a second. So they just go from idea to trying to land the plane. Maybe that's you. And if it is you, that's okay. Or the second biggest mistake that I see a lot of people make, and it was a mistake that I made, that I was luckily able to, have a coach and mentor myself to help me kind of scale back as I was approaching different businesses, and particularly as I was approaching the build out of Grant Scanner, is trying to implement every single idea that you have for your business at once. So how that can hurt a business is when you're talking to people that can give you a grant or that can give you a fund, give you the funding, right? And they ask you about your business, then they start asking you details about it, and you just fly off the handle like, yeah, I have this kind of business. I want to do this, and this with the business, and then I want to implement this, and then I'm going to turn it into this great thing. Like, it's good to know like the ultimate goal that you're trying to get to. But as you are approaching launching the business, building it out or growing it, you honestly just have to take it one step at a time. And so what I learned was that when funders and lenders listen to us talk about our business, if we're rambling on about all of these things that we plan on implementing from day one or two, and really in reality, like, they look at us, and when I say us, that's just business owners, small business, small businesses, as incompetent. Because one of the things these people know is that you cannot do it all at once. Like, I had all of these great big goals for plans for Grant Scanner, and I still have those plans. And when I was doing a build out to actually build the platform, build the app, and do kind of like the tech part behind it, um, I had to dial it back because I was like, yeah, it sounds great to have this feature or have this service or have this product or do this, that, and the third. But what I found was that when I tried to pitch to people about it being a new startup, but I was blabbing about all of this other stuff, it just like confused them and muddied the waters. So as you are on your approach, or as you are on the road to try to get funding, to try to get grants, to pitch your business, and all of those things, in the beginning, keep it simple. If you've already started, simplify it, because doing the most is not going to help you. Like, it sounds good. Like, sometimes it may make us feel like we have an exciting idea, but when it comes to how they look at our pitches and how we talk about our business, like, they don't really care about all of that, especially not initially. Why? Because funders, like, they know that we need money. They know that founders typically just naturally have big, bright, and grandiose ideas. Um, and they know that we're small businesses or we're small teams, and they're not expecting us to achieve corporate level goals by just one person, like as just like one or two teams or one or two people on team. And so, what I want you to know about funding and as you approach it is that there are funders for every level of the business from startup to exit. So whether you're just trying to get money to get your business off of the ground, there's people specifically that fund startups. If you're already started and you're trying to raise money or you're trying to get into a retail store, there's funders, there's grant opportunities that specifically will work with you at that segment, and at that point in which you're at. And if you're trying to exit, sell your business, there's people that will work with you there. But what I find is that regardless of if you are just trying to get money for your business idea, or if you're preparing to sell off your company, all of them at all of the stages, the funders, they all want the same thing. Now, if you're an older business, what they may ask you for may be a little bit complex, but it's all the same. And what is that? All funders want to see that you have clarity in your business idea, that you're clear about your business idea, that you are clear about your business approach, and that you actually have one. They want to know that you are clear about your market. So both the audience and the size of the market. They want to know that you're clear about your competitive advantage, and they want to see that you have your business documents and all of that stuff together. They want to see like who's on your team to help you make things happen, and they want to know that you know your numbers, because regardless of if you have a good idea or not, if it doesn't make sense to them on paper, then you're going to have a hard time getting the money that you need to grow your business. If it doesn't make sense on paper, if you're not clear about your business idea in your head, then guess what? When you fill out grant applications, you're going to be all over the place and you're not going to make any sense. And people who give you grants think about who to fund just similar to the people who can give you loans. Like, the approach to who they determine to be fund is almost, kind of like the same. So yes, there is some institutional or whatever you want to say, racism. Yes, Black owned, minority owned businesses are funded way less than um, white businesses. And so we're just going to just say what it is, okay? Um, because of that, like, we have to make sure that we are positioning ourselves as knowledgeable and as best we can, because there are a lot of great opportunities that are out there for minority owned businesses and women owned businesses to get the funding that they need. But just because they work with minority owned businesses, like you still have to go through the exact same process. And so uh for that one person that I saw on that live post or that viral post, that couldn't get that grant, or not, I'm sorry, not the grant, but who couldn't get the loan at the bank. And I think all she did was apply for like a $25,000 loan. Like, there's other places that she could go to, that you could go to get what it is that you need. And so one of those places is actually a CDFI. And a CDFI is a community development financial institution. And they're all around the United States. Um, some of them are major banks like PNC, and it's a couple other ones. Maybe your local credit union is a CDFI. But they work, with small businesses. Now, the thing about it is you're still going to have to give them a plan. Well, most of them. You'll have to give them some type of business plan or business outline or pitch deck, or they're going to ask you something about your business so that they can understand who you are, what you do, and they want to see your business model. They want to know, how do you plan to make sales? What type of products do you sell? Do you know your numbers? Do you know how much it costs to produce or manufacture one or 100 units or what of whatever product that you're selling? Do you know your hey mom, do you know your numbers, right? And so you're gonna want to make sure you know that. And so I see Glamorous says, thank you for taking the time to sharing this with us. No problem. And I'm gonna do a little bit more than just sharing this information with you. So I'm almost pretty much to the end of this. But I would encourage you all, if you haven't done like the groundwork, if you are not clear about your business, if you don't even have a business plan, if you don't have a business plan, you need to listen to what I'm about to tell you next. If you don't have that much, then you need to go back to the drawing board and get it together. And I know some of y'all gonna say, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how to do a business plan. I want to get a business plan writer. I don't want to do it um, myself." You don't have to write a full fledged plan. You can do a lean business plan and then turn it into a pitch deck. But the key is that you have some type of document that you're able to give to a lender, or when a grant asks for you to send over a pitch deck or send over more information about your business, like you already have it ready. It's already thought out. Like, you don't have to be rushing and make up a bunch of stuff, because they're going to know if you make it up, because it's not going to make sense. And then it's going to be half done. And then your numbers aren't going to make sense. And so if you leave any part of your business and what you do unclear, I'm going to tell you, you are going to significantly reduce your chances of getting the money or getting the opportunities that you want to have, just because you're unclear. You cannot articulate what you have not thought about, what you don't know. Okay? And so, if you are not clear about your business, I want you to get clear about your business. I want you to have the ability to articulate um, your business plan, and your business idea in a way in which funders look for us to do it. And what I find is, a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to talk to bankers or to talk to people who approve, loans, or who approve grants, or who, like look at your pitch deck and all of that stuff. And so if you've never had the opportunity to get that feedback, then you don't know. And so what I would like to encourage all of you to do and I want all of you to join me. I am launching a fundable series. It's called Small But Fundable. And the whole purpose of this series is to walk you through step by step through the different thought processes and through different stages of thinking about your business, putting it down on paper, and then translating all of that you put down on that paper into different things that you'll need as you are going on your funding journey. Now, the first place that you should always start with getting clarity is with a plan. Now, so what we're going to be doing in the first clarity series is going to start Saturday the 27th. Um, so that so it'll be Saturday the 27th, that Sunday the 28th of this month, and then the 29th. So it'll be 3 days of learning. And then on the fourth day, which will be a week later, we're going to have a co-working session where you all are going to sit down and come up with your lean business plan. And then what's going to happen is once you have that lean business plan, what we're going to do is we're going to, in the part 2 of the series, we're going to work to take that lean business plan and then put it into a pitch deck. And then what you're going to find is once you have that lean business plan and that pitch deck, if you wanted to have it turned into a full business plan, you now have the most important information for your business, the backbone for your business, to give to a grant writer, to give to someone who writes fully detailed business plans to do that for you. You're going to make their job a lot easier, and you're going to make sure it's still in alignment with your idea and your brand. Now, some banks or lenders or funders will ask for a full business plan. Some will ask for just a one-page plan. Others will ask for a pitch deck. And so this series, the Small But Fundable series, we're going to be working over the next 4 months to kind of work through all of the different things that you need. But by May 5th, you'll have your lean business plan done. And then towards the end of May, we'll work on getting your pitch deck done. And then we'll work together to have you all start practicing on pitching your brand, talking about your brand, not just from a promotional standpoint, but from a funding standpoint. So there's a money talk that you have to have. There's a way that you have to be able to explain your brand, to explain your business, to explain what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're doing. And so that's what I'm going to help you through, and I'm going to help you find some resources so that you can perfect that, so that as you are applying for these grants and as you are applying for pitch competitions, it's going to be really easy for you. Why? Because we've already done the work. We're approaching the middle of the year where the next round of grant funding and a lot of that money starts to start flowing. And then at the end of the year, when they're trying to get, those tax benefits, where they're trying to give out more grants, right? You'll be ready. And then for at the top of the year, circle back around, like, you'll be good. So if you decide to be a part of the Small But Fundable series, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to work with me live. After I do these days, what's going to happen is I'm going to put them on Grant Scanner, and they'll be in the learning library. So all of the member of Grant Scanner, all of the members who didn't attend live, you'll be able to go back and watch the replay, but you won't get to ask the questions. Like, you won't get that one-on-one time with me, right? Well, group time with me. And so I need you all to be committed to getting clear. Okay. And so how do you join the Small But Fundable series? All you have to do is be a member of Grant Scanner. I'm not selling it as an individual course. I'm not selling it as an ebook. I stopped doing like those one-off kind of classes and courses because I felt like they're not truly helping you all do the tangible things that you need to do to move your business forward, to make yourself more fundable, to get you closer to being able to take advantage of the opportunities that are out there, because there's so many. That was the reason why I built the Grant Scanner platform, was because I was seeing and getting alerts for so many pitch competitions, opportunities, grants, just people giving money away, but not even being able to refer certain people because they didn't have everything that they needed. And so I'm telling you, like, you'll be surprised how being prepared will change the trajectory of what it is that you're trying to do. A lot of people want money, but if I were to tell you to go to this one place today and you could be considered by the middle of next week, but you would have to submit all of your stuff tomorrow, most people wouldn't be able to take that opportunity. And this is money that's out there and ready for businesses solely off of a referral. You just got to have your stuff together. So if your stuff not together, if you don't have clarity, or if you want to make sure you are clear, if you want that strategic guidance, if you want my insight, join Grant Scanner. So there's two ways that you can join Grant Scanner. You can join as a month-to-month member, which right now is $27. But at the end of the month, I'll just be raising it to $47 because I'm going to be doing a lot of like a lot more classes and like not one-on-ones, but like group Q&A sessions, a lot more co-working where we can get down to the strategy. So right now it's only $27 a month. Are there any grants running for church or summer camps? No, Mom, not really church or summer camps. These are the grants on Grant Scanner, grant scanners, and the opportunities on Grant Scanner is more for for-profit businesses. So I share opportunities for businesses that are for profit and for the owners of for-profit businesses, if that makes sense. So right now you can join Grant Scanner monthly, $27. If you want to go ahead and just get that out of the way, join, be done, be good for the whole year. Now you're going to be able to attend all of the series for the whole year, and you pay one time $100. Yearly is $200, but for everybody on this live stream, you can just join it for $100. All you have to do is, I'm going to put it up on the screen. You just got to go to Grant Scanner, GrantScanner.com. Once you create an account, it's going to give you the opportunity to hit yearly or monthly. You're going to hit yearly. It's going to take you to a checkout page. The checkout page is going to say $200. Put in the code FUNDABLE, FUNDABLE. It's going to reduce it to $100. And then once you pay it, it's going to take you back into Grant Scanner, and instantly you'll be able to see all of the grants that I currently have there. And I update Grant Scanner weekly. And sometimes I update it daily. It just depends on how many opportunities I see coming in. But you'll have opportunity for all of the grants that are currently out there. You will have access to the podcast once I launch it, and then a week before the series start at the end of the month, in your tab you'll just see it'll say upcoming events, and that's where you'll be able to literally just click a button and make sure you're showing up on the days that we're having the classes. So all of the classes will be there with the dates and the times. All you got to do is show up. Okay. And so, like I said, small but fundable. Yes, you're a small business. Yes, you're a solopreneur. Can you get funding? Yes. Can you get grants? Yes. Can you get the money that you need to grow your business? Yes. But I encourage you all to think really deep and consider if you all are truly prepared to go after what's out there. Are you clear about, like I said, your business goals, your target audience, your customers. So if you're not, that's what we're going to talk about. So on Saturday, 4/27, we're going to talk about the market. On Sunday, I want to say I sat down at 6 p.m., we're going to talk about your product and the pricing and all of those things. On Monday, 4/29, we're going to break down your funding needs. And when it comes to like your funding and your financial needs, all grant applications, and pretty much when you talk to any funder, one of the questions they're going to ask you is, what do you need funding for? Like, if you were to get this $10,000 grant, what would you do with it? Now, I've had the opportunity to review some grant applications, and I've worked with people to help them work through their grant application. And I'm going to tell you this as just kind of like a inside thing. If on a grant application, when they ask you, what would you do if you got this $25,000 grant? And you just tell them something like buy inventory, or, hire an employee, or you might even say pay up your bills for a year. I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to deny your application. They're going to throw your application in the trash can so fast. Why? Because it's vague. They want to know, like, how the money they're going to give you is going to tie back into your business and help your business grow. They're going to want to know specifics. So you might say, I want to hire somebody. I'm going to hire some staff. No, what they want to know is who you're going to hire. Not like who the person is, but for what position? Why that position? Like, what are they going to do that's going to help to grow your business? If you say for marketing, okay, like, why that specific marketing initiative? How do you plan on measuring if that initiative is going to work? Exactly what is it that you're going to do? Because there's grants out there for marketing too. There was one with I think it was like TikTok and Black Girl Ventures. They were giving out like $10,000 for people to hire people to do different stuff like marketing, content creation. I think it was like photography, like creative services and stuff like that. But the ones that got it, like, they knew how they were going to spend it. And so on Monday, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into what exactly do you mean when you say, I need business funding? Like, what do you need business funding for? How is it going to help to grow your business? And so that's what we're going to cover on the 3 learning days. And then, like I said, on May 5th, we'll spend 2 hours together, and I'll show you all how to formulate or put together your lean business plan. And so somebody asked me, what is a lean business plan? So it's lean, Lean. I know I'm a little country. I probably said lead, but it's lean. And so a lean business plan is typically like a 1 or 2 page document where you are pretty much brain dumping and outlining like the most important parts of your business. So, for example, you'll have one part of the lean business plan, which would be like, okay, the solution. Like, okay, so your solution is, what problem does your product solve? Like, what is it that your products do? Another part of the lean business plan is you will have the problem. Okay, so what problem or what need or what void is your product filling? And so you will literally write out what those needs are. And then what we will do is we will go into it and refine it. Why is that important? Because any funder and anybody on like the venture capitalists or anything like that, they're going to want to know that you know what makes your product different and who your target audience is. And so another thing we're gonna cover is like what makes your product or service different. And so again, all things that you should readily know. Like those are not things that you should be going back. Hey Sonya, those aren't things that you should be going back to kind of like figure out after you've launched your business. So if you don't know who your competition is and what makes you different, then you need to make sure you join Grant Scanner and show up on Saturday, April 27th, so that you can start getting clear. If you don't know who your target audience is and just beyond who your target audience is, but if you don't know how big your target audience is numerically, then you need to be in Grant Scanner and making sure you're showing up to the small but fundable series. Like if you can't answer any of those questions, then you are truly missing out on a big piece of what it is that you need to know, and like some of the most crucial pieces for um, getting funding, getting grants, or getting anything like that. So if you're on this live, like the biggest thing that I could tell you is to make sure you have clarity around your business. Make sure you have at least a lean business plan. If you don't have a lean business plan, then you need to make sure that you are attending the series so that you can get that. Because if you don't, then you're not going to be taken serious. And so this isn't me just trying to sell you into something that I created. I created this for educational purposes and to help, you know, more businesses, because I wasn't satisfied with just only doing the one-on-ones, only doing the working with the people that could afford to pay me $500 for an hour just to talk to me. Like there's some really great people out there. You all, like, y'all need this information. Y'all need to make sure y'all are part of the Grant Scanner. Like I said, if you're not a member, I'm gonna put it up on the screen. You can just go to grantscanner.com and like I said, use code Fundable. So I'm gonna take a couple minutes to go through the questions that I promised people that I would answer. And I'm going to answer those questions. Let's see. So I'm going to take about 10 minutes to answer those questions. And if you're on live, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. So let me see. I am going to, how do I want to do this? Okay, so let's see. Okay, so somebody asked the questions like funding for starter businesses. There's tons of funding for starter businesses. It just depends on the type of business that you have and where you're located. There are some states, um, uh-oh. There are some states that work with startup businesses. Like I want to say North Carolina was a state that was given money to help people start businesses. New York is another state that was giving people money to help them start businesses. California was giving immigrants $15,000 to help them start a business. So, I mean, where you go to get that money to start your business just it kind of depends. But you can find them locally, you can find them at a state level, and you can find grants. Okay. So, the next question from From Melody. Melanie says, I'm currently a sole proprietor not making money, but I need money to purchase a vehicle and gear to put my business plan into forward motion. I also want to turn from a sole proprietorship to an LLC, but I don't know where to start. Okay, so I would tell Melanie, if you're on here, when you say you want to purchase a vehicle and gear, like exactly what kind of vehicle? Is it a, I don't know, a minivan? Is it a ice cream truck? And when you say gear, like what kind of gear? You're gonna have to get a lot more specific with the vehicle, how much the vehicle is, the gear, what kind of gear do you need? And when you get the vehicle and the gear, how you plan on making money? Like what is it that you're gonna do to make money? What products, what services are you gonna do? Because um what'll happen is whoever writes your business plan based on whatever it is you're selling, and how much it's going to be to like truly start up your business, they'll do something that's called a break even, which funders look at. They look at the break even analysis to find out like at what point, what year point, or year 1, 2, 5, or 10 does your business break even and you start making money, because that helps them to determine whether or not this is a risky business. They can make their money quickly, or maybe they might not ever get their money back because the business model doesn't make sense. So the proprietorship to a LLC, that's the easy part. You don't really convert a sole proprietorship to a LLC in most states. You just um, if you're sole proprietorship, if you're a DBA, and whatever that business is. So if it's your name, Melanie T, doing business as the Shoe Rack, and you want to turn that into an LLC, typically you would do like a document to dissolve that the DBA or whatever name you were using, and then you would do your LLC, like register the LLC. Most states, some states have like the conversion form, like there might be a conversion form. Um, and a couple of states, which was really weird, I didn't see it, but some states do, some states don't. But that's the easy part. The hard part is getting to the planning, which sounds like what you need to do, because I think you would have been a little bit more descriptive, if that makes sense. Okay. Next question. Can oh I mean oh. The next question is Giovanna. She says, "Can you get 5-figure funding for a brand new business?" Yes, you can. You can get 6-figure funding for a brand new business if your model makes sense. If you're going into an industry and a market that has potential and that's growing, you absolutely you absolutely can. But where you go to get that 5-figure funding is gonna depend. You definitely probably won't walk up into a bank and get it unless you leverage your personal credit to get it for your business. But there are a couple places that you can look into to get that 5-figure funding. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go to the next question. Doop. Oh, it said B. Okay. Derek, and that's actually Dr. Derek. I know this person. Well, I don't know him, but he has a doctoral degree and he does some pretty amazing work. So his question is, what's the one thing that I need to do every day to get my first grant in the next 90 days. Second grant, I received the Facebook grant during COVID because of you. Woo woo, go me. Well, go you. Because I share opportunities all the time, but y'all just gotta take them, honestly. So, what do you need to do to get your second grant in the next 90 days? Okay, so you're a member of Grant Scanner. You need to be looking at Grant Scanner every single week to see what new opportunities I have up there. And the ones that you find, you're going to have to apply. But the only way to stay on top of what opportunities are out there is to have a place that you can go to see the opportunities, unless you or whoever else might be listening to this just wants to try to search all over the world to try to find them. So I created Grant Scanner to make it like super easy for you all to find grants and opportunities um, in one place. And so I would say coming up with one day a week, every single week, going through Grant Scanner, seeing what opportunities are there, looking at one or two opportunities and just applying. It's, I guess you could say, almost kind of like basketball. The more you shoot, the more likely you have the opportunity to make and get something. And so that's would be my advice, is that you have to carve the time to sit and look for grants for your business. Okay. Next question. Okay. This is Christy. Christy says, I would like help with finding grants to help with my business. I keep trying to buy items needed from out of my pocket and it's breaking me. Let me tell you, you are not alone. There's a lot of people that are funding their business and even the startup of their business from their pocket. And a lot of people tend to fund their business from their pockets who have already started, uh, because they're not making enough money to be able to cover their business expenses. And so that's a really big problem for entrepreneurships, period. And actually, inside of my pitch deck, that was one of the things that I talked about. Like, that's one of the problems that I try to solve with Grant Scanner, is to show people opportunities that will give them the funding that they need to pour back into their business. And so, um, if you want to find grants, there's two things you could do. You can pay somebody to go out and find the grants, and then you can apply for them, or you can pay them to find the grants and you pay them to apply, or you can join Grant Scanner, uh, carve out a time every single week to look at the grants that are there and apply. The more grants you apply to, the more times you put your name in the hat, the more chances you get to actually win something. But most importantly, if you want to win some grants, you need to make sure that you're super clear about like your business idea, and why you need this funding. Okay, so next question. This is asked by Siobhan. Siobhan says, what documents are needed? Where to, okay, so what documents are needed? I'm assuming for funding or for business grants, and where to get a physical address without having your home address on it. So I'm going to talk about that first part, the second part, which is where to get the physical address without having to have your home on your LLC. You can get uh, a virtual office location. Now, there's a difference between a virtual office location and a mailbox location that will give you an address to use instead of your home address. But the difference is that the mailbox services, the ones that'll just give you a mailbox, and there's like 50 other million businesses that use the same address literally. The difference is that those mailbox places, you only can typically use those addresses for your mailing addresses. In most states, you have to put what's called a registered agent. Most people put their home address as their registered agent. Now, if you don't want to have your home address there, then you need to make sure you find a virtual office. It can be one in your city or one not in your city that may give you a unique mailbox or office or suite number. And virtual offices that are pretty much registered agents, they have someone that mans their desk typically during normal business hours to receive mail for you. So part of when you do your registration for your LLC, when they ask who's your registered agent, they ask that just in case like you have to be served some papers or some documents or something like that. Someone has to be operable or be there within reasonable business hours to be able to sign or accept those documents. If you use a mailbox that is just like a mailbox location and nobody signs and they're not a registered agent, that's not going to work. And so a couple different places where you can get a physical address, um, you can go to like your local co-working place. So co-working facilities generally will let you um, utilize their address as a registered agent address and as your business mailing address. So that's one way. You can go to like I think it's like Regis or something like that. Or you could go with like a registered agent, like what are they called? Northwestern or Northwest. I forget the name of that company. So someone like them, or so like literally just look up registered agent in whatever state you're in. Another thing that I want to tell you about the registered agent is if you use a registered agent and you are using that registered agent's address as your business address, if it's different than the city of where you operate the business, you're going to have to make sure you register your business for both cities and for where you're operating your business. And I typically tell people to do it in both cities because, like, for example, I'm in the Tampa area. The registered agent for Florida is in St. Pete. That's a different city. So let's just say if I had a business, I use a registered agent. That registered agent office that I use for my address is in St. Pete. It's not in Tampa. That means that I have to register my business in a whole nother county. So once I register that business as operating, in that county, then I can also register it operating in my county that I'm actually in. Why would I want to do that? Is because you can sometimes at a county level, there are grant opportunities that might come down through the government or government funded programs or entities that I could take advantage of. But if my business is only registered in St. Pete, but Tampa is giving away a $25,000 grant to businesses that are, registered and operating in the Tampa area, I would not qualify for it because my business isn't registered in Tampa. But if it was and I was compliant, right, then I put myself in the hat to be able to receive that opportunity. But let's just say I didn't want to pay the double fees or whatever, and there might be some legalities around that, but maybe I just didn't want to do Tampa. I would just have to do wherever that registered agent is. So I know that was like a long tip, but it's really important because a lot of people don't provide um, enough information around physical addresses, mailboxes, and registered agents. So what you need to look for is a registered agent in your state. And what documents are needed? I'm going to assume that you mean needed for funding. Really just depends on where you go. Banks might ask for, a business plan. If you have revenue, they might want to see that. They might want to see your financials, like your profit and loss statements, um, or things like that. Or they might want to see what, I forget the name of what it's actually called, but they might want to see your anticipated revenue, because some places might consider you for a loan depending upon like what you think like the trajectory of your revenue would be, but then there's still some scoring stuff around that. But you typically need to make sure your business is properly registered in your state, in your county. Sometimes they might want to see that you do have business insurance of some sort, or business interruption insurance in the event that, I don't know, something happens um, to you. So, yeah. Okay. Almost done. Stephanie. Nope. Oh, I can just press this button. Okay, so this is Antoinette. Antoinette asks, when forming a business, should I have an LLC or DUNS, or could you have both? So you should have both. So you can have your LLC. After you do your LLC and get your EIN number, then you apply for your DUNS number. If you already have an LLC and you never applied for a DUNS number, then you might already have a DUNS number. You just need to go to dnb.com and try to create an account and sign up, put in your business information, and they'll tell you whether or not you have a DUNS number. Your second question is there anything that can cause you to not be qualified for a DUNS? No, they typically like verify the information, but the way that they verify it is typically by doing, I guess, their own searches or whatever. I don't know anybody, or I haven't worked with any businesses that have ever been denied for a DUNS number. And when you say done, I think that's what you mean, like your DUNS number. And number 3 is who qualifies for grants. In short, businesses that are fundable and businesses that are clear about their business plan, their business model, their target audience, their value propositions, the problem that they solve. Like those are typically the people that's going to qualify. And the people that have their paperwork together, if you have your ducks in a row. So those are the people that typically qualify for grants. Okay, I think I might be, let's see. I think I might be towards the end of the questions. Okay. So let me see if I have any questions on Facebook. Oh, somebody said I posted. Rodney, I don't know. It might have been a different Rodney. What are the steps to um okay. Portia says, what are the steps to a successful business plan? A successful business plan starts with research. Research should be the basis of what is in your business plan. When you're researching, I mean researching everything. You're researching your competitors, you're researching your audience, you're researching how big the market is, if it's growing or if it's shrinking, what's happening in the market. You're researching how much it costs for you to start up this business. You're researching what do you need in order to start the business. Like, so it's everything starts with research. And so I find that if you like research and then combine that research and your business idea into one, to where your business idea and the need for your business is backed by research, you not only would create a good business plan for yourself, but you will really put yourself in a position to be a small business that can be funded. Okay. And so that's the end of the question. So I don't see any questions on StreamYard. I don't see any questions on Instagram. I don't see any other questions being asked anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live. You all, for the next few weeks, are going to hear me talk about the Small But Fundable series. If you haven't become a member of Grant Scanner, again, join it if you want to go ahead and do it for the year and you don't want to pay the $200 and you want to take advantage of joining Grant Scanner for the whole year for just $100. That code is going to expire at midnight. Go to grantscanner.com. When you sign up, click yearly, and then use the promo code Fundable. So, virtual office address iPostal, is that good to use? I want to say that iPostal is a mailbox service. Let me see. iPostal. Just let me double check. So again, when you're trying to determine if you can use this address or like an address through a company like iPostal, I'm gonna see if I can share the screen. Oh gosh.